a lot of the Germans, when I decided to leave Germany, they sort of scoffed at me, and I've still
Right.
gotten texts even yesterday from a few guys. Well, good luck with that homegrown talent. I'm like, I think we got enough luck. We don't need any more.
Jadrian, I think the big question that people want to know right off the bat is you won two championships back to back with the Rhine Fire. You and
Mhm.
Glenn both. And this offseason, after another win, another championship, you decided to go to a new team, to the Nordic Storm, a team that did not exist. You guys are building this from the ground up. Can you walk me through a little bit your decision of leaving the Rhine Fire and deciding to go to the Nordic Storm and help build this thing? What's the mindset?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the the last 3 seasons I had with Ryan Fire was something that was really, really special. I appreciate, the coaches, my teammates, the fans, and I have nothing but, great memories to look back on, especially winning 2 championships in a row. That was really, really special. And Coach Shoop was a part of the last season's success as my quarterback coach.
Right.
Sort of towards the end of the season there, I knew that there would probably be some chances that he might become a head coach somewhere with his amazing resume. And after the season, once he told us guys, hey, I really appreciate my time with you guys, and I'm going to be heading to Copenhagen. If any of you would like to explore a possibility of that of coming with me, I would really be interested in entertaining that conversation. So of course we started to pursue conversations, and at first it seemed like something outlandish, like there's no way we're going to leave
Yeah.
after winning back-to-back championships. But the more I looked into it and the more I sort of just evaluated the situation, number one, with Copenhagen being to me the best place I've ever been to. It's a place I traveled about 3, 4 years ago to, and absolutely fell in love with the city.
Yeah.
And always joked if there was a team in Scandinavia, I would hop on that. So that was kind of always in the back of my mind, location. Coach Shoop is someone that I have a really, really close relationship to. Obviously, with him being my quarterback coach and being such a unbelievable, former NFL offensive coordinator and head coach in the league already. And then the ownership group here is just tremendous. So, sort of, those were sort of the big factors at the beginning. And then, you've been a player in Europe before.
Right.
Part of it's the guys that you play with. So, with Glenn wanting to stay with me, and then Joachim, my former center, him being from Copenhagen, his dad being the general manager of the Nordic Storm, everything just sort of came together, and it ended up being a no-brainer for me.
Well, bro, can you talk a little bit about kind of the homegrown talent that's up there, because you guys have Sweden and Denmark, and there's some legit big boys up there, and you guys are putting together a nice roster. Can you talk a little bit about like the homegrown talent, who you're excited about on the roster?
Phenomenal. I know that a lot of the Germans, when I decided to leave Germany, they sort of scoffed at me, and I've still
Right.
gotten texts even yesterday from a few guys. Well, good luck with that homegrown talent. I'm like, I think we got enough luck. We don't need any more. The talent up here has blown me away. As far as we get 2 countries, like you said, we get
Yeah.
Denmark and Sweden. If you go and look at who plays Division 1 football, obviously Germany dominates the football landscape in Europe, but Sweden has an amazing amount of offensive linemen and guys playing Division 1 football that have now come back. Denmark also is a really talented team. Denmark played Italy in the European Championship this year, and Denmark was leading most of the game and
Yeah.
barely lost at the end. So Denmark alone, I would say, is like on the level of an Italy who was able to support an ELF team. But we also have Sweden, so we basically take two, you know, amazing countries, combine them, and our homegrown base is tremendous in my opinion.
Yeah, dude, it's legit. I mean, I remember when I was playing for the Italian national team a few years ago, and we played in the European Championship against Sweden. Like, they had made it all the way to the European Championship, and granted, we had about 15 Americans on Team Italy right there, so we won. But
Yeah.
the Swedish homegrown talent is like phenomenal, dude. Well, I wanted to ask this a little bit later, but just because you touched on it, I mean, we're gonna kind of bounce around here. ELF rules wise, now
Mhm.
because Italy no longer has a team, Italian players are going to count as homegrowns for Switzerland and also Austria.
Okay.
It's a little bit, I would say, scary for some teams, because Austria, they don't need any help at all with homegrown talent. Switzerland, I understand there. Italy coming in and giving some reinforcements. What are your thoughts on Italian players counted as homegrowns for Austria as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how it works. I saw that there was a map and it was kind
Yeah.
of divided, but I don't know the ins and outs yet. It's a new rule, but I think it's good to allow the Italians, when they lost an ELF team, to still count as a homegrown somewhere, so that a lot of guys that maybe wouldn't get picked up as imports will still get an opportunity to play in the league. Another big reason why I went to the Nordic Storm that I sort of forgot to mention is I want to grow football all around the world. And for me, entering a new market and helping to grow it here, it's a game that's given so much to me. It's afforded me an education. It's afforded me to travel the world and play professionally. I want to go to a new market and share that love and passion that I have for the game with a new market. So back to the
Dude.
Italy thing, for having more Europeans allowed to play the game is better in my opinion.
Yeah, dude, that's a great point, dude. Because I mean, you've done it. You've been to kind of all over Germany and had success there. It is cool to be able to build something from the ground up in a new market. Let me ask you this, because we've seen new ELF teams pop up, right? Year over year. We saw Munich, we saw
Yeah.
Paris, we've seen Madrid last year was quite good in the first year. But I feel like, from my perspective, and you let me know if you feel this, for you guys as a first year team, I feel like the expectations are higher than the average new first year team because of the experience that guys like you and guys like Glenn bring. And Coach Shoop, of course. Do you feel that at all, that the expectations are pretty high for a first year team?
Yeah, I do, both internally and externally.
Yeah.
I think we've assembled a great roster and great coaching staff, and whenever you do that, the expectations are going to be high. European football is so different than in America, where you need 3 to 4 years to rebuild.
Yeah.
Every year over here is a new year and a new chance and a new season. So you saw what Stuttgart did from becoming one of the absolute worst teams in ELF history to boom, back to back championship, and then what would that be called? Like the conference championship
Right. Yeah.
finals last year. So to flip that on their head so quickly, I think it's definitely possible. But we're not going to go out there and say we're going to win it all or anything. That's obviously the goal, and
Right.
that's what everybody's going to do. Starting right now, they're going to make that goal. Now it's all about the process and execution, and that's what's going to separate us. So I think we're just as talented as anyone in the league. Can we make big plays in big moments and not make stupid penalties and cost ourselves a clutch game is what it's going to come down to.
Okay, so big news, obviously, with the European League of Football, just announced yesterday, 2 days ago, 8-year partnership with Dazn. That ELF Game Pass is going to be on Dazn, similar to how NFL Game Pass is on Dazn here in Europe. Jadrian, you are working and doing a lot of media stuff for Dazn yourself. What are your thoughts on this partnership with Dazn?
Well, I think the Zone is a tremendous partner for the ELF. Obviously, they have the NFL International Game Pass, which means everyone outside of the US and Canada, if they want to watch all the action of the NFL, they've got to go to DAZN.com, become a Game Pass subscriber there. And that sort of built out this huge audience of international football audience, as I was saying. So now with the ELF going to be on that same platform, anyone who's interested in the NFL internationally is now going to see the ELF and sort of have built-in marketing for our league, which I think is tremendous crossover opportunity because, if you like the NFL, why not watch the ELF also?
Yeah.
And ELF's a great partner, or the Zone is a great partner for the ELF also just because of, having all of the technology that they have, the app and sort of the reach. So it's going to be a great partnership for the league.
Dude, that's so perfect. I mean, because I don't know what the numbers are, but there are probably a good amount of people internationally that subscribe to Dazn for NFL Game Pass, and they are just going to see here in the offseason, oh, we've got a whole nother football league that I can check out right here. Could be absolutely massive here for the league here on Dazn.